have not been watching Tamon's B-side, what else have you been doing? Oh my goodness. We have to talk about this, y'all. I was not going to discuss this here on YouTube because I've written about it over on my Medium blog. But sometimes you have to get it off your chest, get it off your mind. You have to talk about something that's as exciting as this. So anyway, welcome to my show. This is From the Desk of Erica. I'm your humble host, Erica. And yes, I enjoy manga and anime. My husband and I, we have what's called anime nights where we binge watch anime. Of course, we watch other things, real life shows, crime shows, and nostalgic shows. We watch a lot of different things. But I would say about 80% of the time or 85% of the time, we binge watch anime. And we've been doing that for several years. And one of the animes I decided to watch because one of my favorite content creators was speaking about it is Tamon's B-side. So in the show Tamon's B-side, there's a 16-year-old girl named Utage, and I believe that's her informal name. She's 16 and she works for a cleaning service. And so she goes to people's homes and she cooks them meals, clean up their home, different things like that. But Utage has an oshi. And in Japanese, oshi is basically a star or celebrity or someone who you support. You buy their merch all the time. You basically worship them as an idol, okay? And she loves the group. Her and her friends love the musical group called Face. And in that group, there's a pink-haired guy named Tamon. He's really, really handsome. He can sing, he could dance. He just oozes confidence, right? And of course, sex appeal. And she literally has a shrine dedicated to him. She has the little bobbleheads, DVDs, CDs, journals, notebooks, posters. In her room, there's an entire shrine dedicated to Tamon. What makes this show just so interesting is that her job sends her on a new assignment where she has to go to the home of someone named Tamon. What are the odds that it's Tamon, the pop star idol that she loves? When she gets to the apartment, there is Tamon, or who she believes is Tamon, cowering in the corner with a dark hoodie over his head, shivering, speaking negatively about himself, growing mushrooms all over his body, okay? And the mushrooms are symbolic of gloom, okay? So he's there shivering and he speaks very negatively about himself. He's very shy. Y'all, Tamon is introverted to a T. To the point where Utage is like, this can't be the Tamon that I worship in my room. This cannot be him. But it is. And this is why it's called Tamon's B-side. So what I absolutely love about this show, I didn't want to give too much away about the show. That's why I just gave you the tippy top of what happens. Just a little bit of what happens in the very, very beginning. I think what works well for this show, number one, are the voice actors. I'm a huge fan of English dub anime. I know that the anime community, they enjoy reading the subtitles. And listen, I'm a bookworm already. I read enough words throughout the day. If I'm watching an action anime, I'm not going to watch it in subtitle because I'm too busy watching the action. However, I do appreciate subtitles for slice of life kind of animes. I do appreciate subtitles for romance animes and things like that. But for Tamon's B-side, I am hearing fans just absolutely praise the English voice dub actors. And it's very rare that you hear that. So I want to give a shout out to the voice actors, especially the voice actor for Tamon, for doing an excellent job. I mean, an excellent job. So if you are not into English dub anime, I highly recommend the English dub for this one. It's really good. The second thing that I absolutely enjoy about Tamon's B-side is, of course, the stylistic choices when it comes to the costume, the outfits that the students wear, and especially that Face wears. Tamon, I love the scene where he's trying on different clothing. So I think that was done really, really well. Third, the storytelling. I love the storytelling about Tamon, but even more importantly, I was really drawn to the yellow-haired boy's story. I think Natsuki. I was really drawn to his story, and I'm also feeling a lot of compassion and empathy for the other guy, Orti's story. I like his story. Tamon, we're learning a lot about Tamon, but we still don't know too much about his background. I don't think there was too much diving into his background because we see how he acts day to day. So fourth, I think we're on the fourth thing I enjoy. I enjoy how Utage uses her worshiping Tamon as a way to uplift him, because a person who is so deep into their own funk, they need someone to be their cheerleader. And so I love when Utage is like, "You're a god, Tamon. We are not going to desecrate the Church of Tamon in this way." I love when Utage gets into those kinds of moods because it actually lifts him from that fog. And when he gets lifted from that fog, he knows how to turn on the sexiness like instantaneously. There's a scene where he tastes her fried chicken and he turns on the appeal to 1,000. So I just love how there's an injection of comedy there. And this brings me to point number 5, what I enjoy about this anime. What I enjoy probably the most about this anime is not just the artwork, but the fact that it can get dark, really dark, and I mean in mood, but there's little things that makes the situation brighter. The reason why I say this is because there is mention of self-unaliving, or you see that it's hinted at in this show, and it shows how disturbed Tamon really is. And the rest of the world don't know Tamon in this way. Again, he oozes sex appeal and confidence within the group. You would never suspect that he feels a certain way about himself. He don't even like doing interviews, y'all. And part of being a celebrity is doing interviews and signings and different things like that. His manager is like, I'm always having an issue with this guy. Anytime there's an interview coming up, Tamon misbehaves. But Utage is quickly becoming a crutch for him, and Tamon is depending on her a lot. But you could tell throughout the season, because there's only 13 episodes, right? You can tell throughout the season that Tamon grows incredibly close to Utage. And Utage, she idolizes him, she worships him, but she wants to keep things professional, yet it's getting really, really hard to do that because she's around him often now, and she's attracted to him, obviously, and she just wants to keep him at the god level status. And I think I kind of understand where Utage is coming from, right? Someone who is super talented, super handsome, and also someone who you've worshipped for a long time. It begins to feel strange. It's a strange kind of territory when you get closer to that person, or you discover that that person may like you. So Tamon's B-side as an anime is classified as romantic comedy, and for sure you can feel the romance in there or the possibility of one. But Utage, she wants to keep things professional, and trust me, she's having a hard time because Tamon, he knows how to turn up the heat. I love when she fangirls over him really hard, and these like bursts of hearts and pink go everywhere. I guess it's supposed to symbolize blood or something like that. And there are many times where she floats off into the sky with angel wings, and there's like this gravestone left in her place when Tamon does something that turns her on or makes her happy. So it's little things like that that makes this a comedy. But here's where some people may run into some issues with Tamon's B-side, right? I am seeing quite a few people, not a lot, but a few people who are saying that this promotes toxic relationship. Personally, I don't think this exemplifies a toxic relationship, but it does have a great potential to be. There's a scene on the rooftop where Tamon does grab Utagi's wrist kind of tightly, but what he is saying to her is he literally will bow down at her feet. He would rather worship her. I mean, he just goes into this spill, right? And it becomes incredibly uncomfortable for Utage, naturally, of course. Because even if someone is your idol, that is too close for comfort. It's too close for comfort. But we have to remember that Tamon has some issues. And Utage, she does the right thing by snatching her hand away and still encouraging him. She's like, okay, we're not going to do that, but I'm not going to have you beat yourself up and try to lick my shoes either. We're not going to do that. So she didn't berate him. She didn't put him down or anything. Clearly, this is a guy who, again, he has mental instabilities, or he is just severely, he has severe social anxieties, introversion, things like that. But there's always these little moments to soften up those, darker moments, because when he gives her a hug on the rooftop, she finds herself exploding all over again in a bunch of pink hearts and all of that. So, yeah, it can potentially be a show that promotes toxicity, similar to how back in the day, way back in the day, how people felt about Twilight. They felt that the way Edward treated Bella, or more importantly, how Bella perceived Edward and what she allowed herself to go through, was toxic in itself. And we throw that word around a lot, but it doesn't necessarily mean that someone is toxic or something is toxic. As it pertains to Tamon's B-side, it certainly has the potential to, raise a few red flags about this person. But clearly he will never hurt Utage, and clearly he definitely needs a lot of support that Utage realizes that he doesn't get. And we have to remember they are all high school age. So this is a great time for them to, for people like Tamon to get the help that they need and the support that they need. And that's how I want to frame this entire episode, right? I want to frame this as an anime that is absolutely awesome and that deserves to be watched. But I want you to watch it and come up with your own conclusions about the show. Don't think about social media. Don't even think about me. Don't think about, what other people are saying. What do you think about the show? Do you think that Tamon's B-side shows a potential toxic relationship? Or is this simply a guy who is, he needs support and he's introverted and he shouldn't be judged for that? All right. Having said all that, I'm happy to report that there are 13 manga volumes for Tamon's B-side. And shout out to Laura Nuzeth. I hope I pronounced her last name right. Shout out to Lara, who let us know exactly where to pick up the story at in the mangas. So if you've watched the anime and you're craving more, the manga that you need to pick up to continue is volume 7. So somewhere in the middle of volume 7 is where you need to be after watching the first 13 episodes of Tamon's B-side. My goal is to get volumes 7 through 13. I really want to do that. I did not think that I would want to purchase any more mangas, but apparently I will be doing that. And you can help me to do that too. So if you absolutely enjoyed this show, you can support me over on my Ko-fi. I'll provide the link in the comment section. It'll be pinned. So you can support with whatever amount that is laid upon your heart to support me with. I really do want to be able to get these mangas so I can talk to you about them. So if you enjoy the show at all, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and share the video. Thank you so much for listening, and I will be back with more videos.